when I walk into a new pair of shoes. I got the attention, I'm on a mission. No sweat in the way I step, I got a fresh new attitude. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. New look, got the ladies shook. New watch saying it's my time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. I'm there with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen. I'm ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who tried to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like Indian, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We're coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're trouble when we get crazy, we get wild. Got
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, I will turn the camera off. Welcome to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV, simulcast on the Community Radio Network. And we welcome you to round number 4, the penultimate round of the Northwest Gen4 Cup Fun Series. Say that 3 times fast. I'm Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside. Back in the saddle again is CW, Charles Wooten. And Jason, JR, how's it going, buddy? I'm WO. Whoa.
That was a lot for me to process right there. I don't know if I can handle all that. But, hey, man, we're here. We're at Michigan. And look at this. We just said it right before we went live on the air. We have a very, very interesting amount of cars here tonight. About 17 from what I counted. Yeah, 17 cars from what we saw in practice. So we're about to see 17 drivers take on the Michigan International Speedway. Should be very interesting to say the least. You got drivers out here like Kevin Smith, who I don't believe has competed all season so far with this Gen 4 car. So this is going to be interesting to see him drive. He was fast in practice. I'm looking forward to this race tonight for sure.
I want to say thank you to David Kreutz for joining us from FTN in the broadcast booth on Monday night. I know there's going to be some changes being made on the Monday broadcast team, and I know it was really fun being able to work with him, David Kreutz. And Jason, it's always fun working with you, buddy. And one of the things that I love about this Northwest Gen 4 Fun Series of these Cup cars is not only the 1,000 horsepower mistake in these engines that iRacing made, and secondly, it's like throwback night. My Finish Line show today had Bill Blair on talking about the history of NASCAR, where it started in the 40s and 50s, and I actually threw a little tidbit in here about throwback and about this 4 series, because for the last 4 weeks now, bud, we've seen throwback cars. It's a throwback to where the sport started.
Yeah, and it's been awesome to see. We saw, obviously, it was Sean Brightsman driving that Dale Earnhardt, Peter Max car
That's right.
There he is. He did it. He
There-
did it. Oh,
by
my goodness,
request.
He did it. By request, he did it, man. That is for anybody who watched last week and for anybody listening and watching. Sean Brightsman will be driving Dale Jr.'s 2005 Oreo Ritz Chevy Monte Carlo from what was the NASCAR Busch Series, now known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I grew up. This was my childhood. Obviously, being the young guy here in the production booth, being the young guy, I grew up on NASCAR 2006 Total Team Control on the Xbox, playing it with my dad every night, every weekend. I always chose this car when we raced the Busch Series, me and him. I always drove this car whenever I wanted to race in the Busch Series. Man, I love this car. I'm still yet to get my hands on one of the 124 scale diecast cars of this thing, but I have the 164, so 124 scale diecast of this scheme pending.
I say this in the most respectful, friendly colleague way in the booth. You sound very giddy right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm very giddy. I love this scheme, man. This scheme just brings me back to good old days of childhood. I love seeing it.
I just think of cookies and crackers. It's crackers.
Cookies and crackers for you, and I look at the best dang paint scheme I've ever seen ran. I just loved that scheme so much. But there's so many other great schemes out here. We talked about Sean Bryson running the Dale Earnhardt Peter Max car. We saw the Carl Edwards Fastenal Nationwide Series scheme, I think, from Carl Burke, I believe it was, possibly. A lot of paint schemes out here tonight, for sure.
Yeah, man, loving it, loving these awesome wrap jobs. Here comes Ryan Bloom. By the way, Ryan was absent on Monday. I messaged him, Charles. I said, hey, man, where were you? He's like, dude, I got the races. I got the wins. I enjoyed a night off. I'm going to the playoffs. And I'm like, well, I guess that answers that question. His last response to me was, you're not going to win a championship during the regular season, my friend. And honestly, Jason, you did what you need to do to make it the end of the rainbow to go to the next season, that second season, and that's what Ryan Bloom's done.
Yeah, Yep, and obviously, Ryan's out here having fun like everybody else here tonight. And there it is right there. That's another one of those schemes. That is, that's Troy Daggett's number 99 Fastenal machine based off one of the junior motorsport schemes. Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jr. drove this car a few years ago back in, I believe it was 2008, 2009. Ron Fellows drove it on the road courses at Montreal, I believe it was, too.
That's right.
Lots of different paint schemes out here tonight.
I will say this. I've got to tell you, I know we're coming to the end of the rainbow with what this series is. And I will say this. I know we've had this fun series, and it's time to get back to work in about 2 weeks time with the Wednesday, Northwest, fixed setup series. But if there is any inclination of what they want to work on next year for a fun time, the GT3 cars were very entertaining. We had to get used to them, obviously, Jason. But these Gen 4 cars, I would say give them a chance, for sure. Give them a chance because I think people are finally adapting to it. I think it's the different racetracks we've raced on, and maybe there's growing pains, and R&D needs to look at changing that, and James Vining has said that. But I will tell you this. I think this is something we need to look at in maybe having a winter series and expanding it for sure. I got to give props to James Vining. Your take on that, Jason?
Yeah, for sure. We talked about this too last week, Wesley. I proposed the issue of how they shelved the Cup car for this year in 2023. Obviously, we watched the Cup Series make its final run at Phoenix last year. We called the race together. And then, obviously, they brought back the Xfinity Series car. That's what we've been calling this year. That's what we're about to go back to calling here in the next few weeks come Labor Day, or after Labor Day it is. So that thing that they should definitely look at. It was definitely, in my opinion, like I told you last week, Wesley, bring the Gen 4 series as your second highest tier series. I think it would be fun. It's a handful of drive. There's a lot of horsepower, and it brings back a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people.
Go time in Michigan. Let's give you the starting lineup on this 2-mile bank machine. Dan West Jr. got himself a top 3 the other night on the road course at Road America. He's on the pole. Sean Brightsman the cookie cracker machine on the outside of row 1. What did you say? Ryan Bloom, William Fletcher, row number 2. I'm sorry, Jason. He broke me. Go ahead, give the lineup.
Well, there goes Scooby-Doo laughing it off here. We got row 3. We got Robert Gamble and Toby Ritters in the 23 machine. Row 4, Frank Harris in the 11. Devin West in the number 5. Row number 5, you have Kevin Smith, Chris White. Row number 6.
Okay,
you have
I'm back.
John Ottenbacher and Carl Burke.
Yes. And I'm back now. So, but by the way, Kevin Smith, winner at Road America on Monday night for the Cup for the Truck Series. Jeff Stabnow, Troy Daggett, row number 7. Woo! Row 8, Gary Nichols and Tyler King in the 8 and 21. Row 9, Roy Grande, Fields Rolling. You got crackers, cookies with Oreo and Ritz on Brightsman's car. We used to have Taco Bell. What better food for a late night snack for the Northwest than Taco Bell, right? Right, John, Jason. I don't know. Is he? Can we show Grande's car, Charles? Oh no, he had too many tacos and didn't start the race. Roy Grande unable to drop the green here. All right, I am not going to repeat that. Jason, obviously we're ready to go, man. Hey, listen, in all seriousness, though, Sean Brightsman has been the king of the Gen 4 Fun Series this year. What'd you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. We saw him win, obviously, last week at the Chicago Street Course. We saw him win at Phoenix, and I believe Ryan Bloom picked up the win back in Atlanta. So it's been really fun to see Sean kind of adapt. He says he just loves how hard these things are to drive. Same with Ryan Bloom. A lot of guys, too, who are just continuously getting better with this car. Robert Gamble, Toby Ritter, too. They're in row 3. So we'll have to see how the rest of this race goes.
All right. I can't tell if that's on my end or you guys' end, but I just froze up here, but I think we're okay. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman on the front row. Okay, ready to bring the field to the green flag. Jason, it is go time. I'm digging the Winston colors. I'm digging the Cornflakes colors. Lowe's, all the sponsors of yesteryear, where one sponsor would last all darn season. Green flag, and we're underway at Michigan.
And Dan West Jr. gets a great start in front of Sean Brightsman down into turn number 1. That 55 Chevrolet is flying, going from the middle. Oh, he's loose, though. He's loose through the center of the corner. He hangs on to it, though, off turn number 2 as the field comes flying here down this long back straightaway heading for 3.
Backstretch into that third turn. It's Dan West Jr. up high. Here comes now the outside lane. This will open up the door to Ritters on the bottom. Here comes Brightsman and Bloom and Gamble's car. The Lowe's colors. Pick your poison. Aquafresh 00. There he goes. That's Smith. I'm digging the black car. Back in black for Kevin Smith, the Monday night winner, Charles. Jason, as we go into turn 2.
Yeah, 3 wide for a second there. Off the corner, and Kevin Smith chops off Devin West there off turn number 2. 3 wide now heading into turn number 3. It's Smith. And then you have the 5 of West and also Gamble there in the middle. They're working their way this time off 4. These guys are having a handful to deal with here just 2 laps into this event.
Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom. Look at this now. Smith, autism awareness 00 down to the inside. 3 wide. West. That's Devin West. Look at Ritters on the outside. Like a hot knife on melting butter. And Gamble just can't decide whether to go top, bottom, middle, anywhere as we go into turn number 3. I feel for a moment it looks like, oh my goodness, Buckshot Jones and Terry Labonte going at it back in the day.
Yeah, there's so many references you could give off here just looking at these cars and whatnot. Obviously, all the way back from the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way to early 2000s here with these cars. So many paint schemes out here. We've seen many here over the last 3 weeks. Now on week 4, even more cars out here tonight. But as everybody single files back out down the back straightaway, it's just a handful to deal with here on this 2-mile tri-oval track here in Michigan.
Devin West right now battles, correction, Dan West Jr. leads, Sean Brightsman second. By the way, real quickly, Kaufman creative weather conditions. Bottom right of the monitor. Let's show it to you real quickly with Dan West Jr. and Brightsman in the corner. 68 degrees, track temp 72. It's cloudy though, Jason. Very cloudy. I don't see a lot of sun tonight in this race on partly cloudy skies on the sim. What's that going to be like for the handling of these cars, especially not seeing daylight to start?
Well, I mean, with all the shade and whatnot too, this track's going to have a lot of grip right now, obviously being only about 70 degrees right now, track temperature-wise currently, which is not bad, obviously. That's not bad at all. Very, very cool, especially for here at Michigan. I expect the more that these guys run their lanes, obviously the track might heat up a little bit, but, I mean, they're still going to be loose. Not as loose as they can be, but with the 1,000 horsepower in these things, man, these things are an absolute handful to drive. But it definitely saves them a lot more knowing that there's going to be a lot of shade on the track for right now.
Right now, it's Dan West Jr. still the leader. Sean Brightsman, Ryan Bloom, William Fletcher, Kevin Smith looking down. Bloom and Brightsman, they're going at it now for the number 2 spot. And I'll be honest with you, Jason, probably these two drivers have been the drivers that we've watched do really, really well in this Wednesday Night Fun series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sean won Phoenix, Ryan won Atlanta, and then Sean went back and won at the Chicago Street Course just last week. Oh, contact in the back right there behind that.
Wow.
Kevin Smith tried to make a move to the inside, slid up the racetrack, doored William Fletcher in that 28 Havoline throwback, and thankfully was able to save it. But like you were saying, Wes, that 25 and that 46 machine, they have been lights out here these last few weeks, and they are definitely the top contenders. But maybe Dan West Jr. has something to say right now as he leads up at the front.
There's that Haviland Texaco Chevrolet throwback of Fletcher's car. 00 Smith on the bottom. Autism awareness. Wow! Almost tags the safer barrier. Trying to get a momentum of speed behind Brightsman's rear deck lid as well as the 28 of Fletcher. And now he clears him, and he's going to go for a bonsai move on the bottom of the racetrack. Fletcher up 3 wide. Brightsman in the middle. Here comes Smith on the bottom out of 4.
And Smith will close the door right now on Fletcher, trying to make sure he'll stay clear of him this time by. Fletcher looks to take a peek down the front straightaway to the inside, not enough. They'll stay in line. Fletcher kind of dives it down to the bottom just a little bit. He'll stay back behind, though, Kevin Smith, as they exit 2 this time.
West, the leader, but not for long. Bloom is trying to come to the front. Brightsman will follow in tow. Smith, Fletcher, top 5 into 3 and 4. We're about to be 10 of 80 here.
These guys have been duking it out so far here. It's all been Dan West Jr. up at the front of the field, but Ryan Bloom and Sean Brightsman give them a few laps to get comfortable here with this car in race conditions, and sure enough, they're going to start flying up to the front of the field, and they've basically caught Dan West Jr. in that 55 machine as they work their way off 2. Bloom gets a little bit loose that time by. Still single file, back by about 0.35 seconds to Dan West Jr. as they work into 3.
Back off out of the corner into turn number 3. Right now, look at Dan West Jr. way up on top side. Boy, I thought the front end or the back end of the car was going to be turned, and he saves it. And look this deep in the pack behind in the top 12. 13 spots. Audenbacher, Billings, Montana, battles the Wood Brothers, Ricky Rudd colors, if you will. Elliott Sadler, Motorcraft colors. You take your pick, Jason. That's the throwback on the Tyler King car.
Yeah, that 21 machine took a tumble here in the early 2000s years ago with Elliott Sadler in practice after blowing a right rear tire and then tumbling side over side, end over end, heading into turn 1. Elliott was okay, but that 21 Ford Motorcraft car seems to always be strong here at Michigan, no matter the driver. The Wood brothers just like being in Ford country. Remember, Detroit's just right up the road. Ford Motor Company started there, man, so it's always nice when a Ford goes to victory lane here in Michigan.
There's an Annenbacher. Oh, we got a caution.
We got caution.
Oh, we got trouble back
it's
straight away. A
Brightsman.
little cloud of smike. Oh, no. Cookie Cracker's in trouble. 46. Sean Brightsman. Oh, did him and Smith wreck each other?
Yeah. Off turn 2.
Let's find out.
Quick puff of smoke. And
yeah, man. Let's find out. There's the replay.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at it right here. This is heading down to turn 1. Kevin Smith got around the 25 of Bloom. And heading into 3 and 4, you see the 46 kind of start to step out a little bit. And off the corner, they just kind of come together. The 46 was getting loose, and the 00 was coming up the racetrack. And while the 46 was saving it, the 00 was already invested into coming back up to the wall. And unfortunately, they met. No harm, no foul, kind of just a racing deal, but heavy damage to the front end of Kevin Smith.
Yeah, tough break there for Cookie Cracker, Sean Brightsman, and of course the autism awareness 00 of Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, by the way, coming off of a win in the Northwest Truck Series on Monday night in Season 10, making now 9 winners of the season in 19 events, round 20, and the final 3 races of the schedule coming up before the playoffs. And remember, and here's the deal, Jason, we got this fun series going on, and when we come back to it after Labor Day, and we talked about this here, we're enjoying these Gen 4 cars, but this is a fun series. Yeah, there's a little points battle. There's some racing sim shoes up for grabs as we're watching pit stops happen. But once you get out of this fun league, you got to get right back to work if you're on the outside looking in, because the playoffs for this series fire up in 4 weeks after we return on Labor Day.
Yeah, man, you have to be consistent. You have to be cool, calm, collective, everything, all the above when it comes to positivity. You're jumping into a car that you have not been familiar with in weeks.
Whoa.
Maybe you're working on fix stuff. Oh, Brightsman a little bit overshoots his box, but he's able to back it back into his stall to take 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. But back to the point, too, Wesley, you know, and it's just interesting to say, too. I mean, these guys haven't been in the Xfinity Series car in weeks. Maybe they've been doing fixed stuff. Maybe they've been doing some open races on the official servers, possibly. But that's the thing. You know, you just have to just keep on being consistent. Hopefully they've gotten enough track time here in the offseason.
What in the world is Kevin Smith doing? It ain't time for the Northwest High Five Salute. What are you doing? Jason, did he just spit himself out coming off of the blend line off of pit road?
I believe so, and I think the 00, from what I'm hearing in my ear, did not take tires, and coming off the blend line, listening to the car, he locked up the brakes and he downshifted. He downshifted, and the back end came out on him.
You know what, Jason? I think he thought he was going to run. He's going to bypass the pace truck, and there would have been a penalty if he would have done that.
Yeah, possibly. But
I think that's what he was doing.
Braking, probably, and I think while he was doing that too, I heard the downshift. I think he just locked it up, downshifted it, and then the thing just went around. I mean, I've done that before in a truck at Texas. I've never seen somebody do it like that though. And hey, he's going to come in and ultimately take some tires because, you know, those things are definitely killed after spinning out down the straightaway.
I mean, my goodness, wow. And then, like our producer is saying, he literally come down pit road, overshot his pit box, never pitted, so he's the pit now. And then to top it off, he literally downshifted, slammed on the brakes, locked up the brakes, and it looked like he was trying to keep from bypassing the pace truck. Maybe he thought he was going to get penalized. I don't know. Anyhow, lights are off the safety truck. We'll get ready to try to go back to green here. 15 of 80 laps. Jason Rockefeller is in the house. We call him JR. We got Charles Wooten back with us, CW. I'm Wesley Outlet. Big thanks to Jeff Stabnow, Rocket Racing Media. And we welcome you to round number 4. Thanks to James Vining, the penultimate race of the Northwest Gen 4 Cup Fun Series. Thanks to Click It RV, iRacing on LSRTV and CRN. Football, by the way, returns tomorrow night. JV, varsity, Clayton, Wake Forest. We are CRN.com on all of these broadcast affiliates that are covering iRacing tonight from Michigan. Back to the line. Green flag goes back in the air. Lap number 15 will be completed. Still about 65 laps to go in this race. By the way, 80 miles is the equivalent of, what is it, 200 miles, I think it is? I think it is, yeah, 200 miles, 80 laps.
Yeah, just about so. So we'll have to see, obviously, as this race goes on now, taking the green flag off turn number 2, though. Still single file, Dan West and Devin West, his son, right behind him in second in that Kellogg's number 5 Terry Labonte throwback. And Toby Ritters currently sits in P3, trying to work that middle top groove right now off turn number 4, trying to chase down the West boys.
And my apologies, 2 miles, 4 wide in the middle, 80 laps times 2 is 160 miles. 160 miles is the distance of this race. So if it was 100 laps, it would be 250 miles. I just want to clarify on that. But right now we're watching them slamming, bamming. Hold on, guys. Keep it together. And all the while, Jason watching them work up into the corner. Gamble. Fletcher's being brave in this car. Look at also Chris White, the Indianapolis winner, a couple of Monday nights ago in this thing. And look, Carl Burke.
Yeah, and Carl Burke's just hanging in right there. You see William Fletcher starting to kind of side draft that 54 of Robert Gamble as they work their way down into turn number 1. Here comes Burke, dives it down to the inside of the racetrack. Can't get clear just yet of that 54 of Gamble, while Gamble tries the crossover move on the 28 of Fletcher, now heading into 3 this time.
Boy, watching them work their way into the corner into turn number 3. Holding it together. Looking inside, outside on Gamble's Fletcher. On board, Carl Burke. Man, I got to say, Jason, what a run for the legend, buddy. He's in 6th right now. Go, 53, go!
And Carl Burke is doing a really, really good job right now. Up 6 spots from where he started here earlier on in this race. That 53 machine is definitely hooked up a little bit. He's flying. Not in the draft right now down this back straightaway, but if he can just hook the bottom here possibly or run the middle line, not get loose like he did right there in the center of 3 and 4, he might be able to make quick work of that 28 of Fletcher here and try to go chase down Robert Gamble for 4th.
Dan West Jr., Devin West, Toby Ritters, Robert Gamble, William Fletcher, top 5. Up into the wall, Jeff Stabnow. He drinks Pepsi. I drink Pepsi. I love Pepsi. It's on the car.
Oh,
he about spun coming out of turn 2. They're going around. Nichols turns. He's Stabnow back in the fence. He got turned almost by Kevin Smith. Caution will fly. We'll stay green, but it's Gary Nichols down below the apron. Yellow flag will come out here for the second time.
Man, I just saw that for a second, Wesley. I saw the 24. He was slapping the wall, came all the way down across the track in front of traffic. Everybody checked up, and then the 8 ultimately gets involved with Kevin Smith, I believe. You see the 24 stab now. There he is, cuts down, and Nichols just kind of out of the gas. Smith is coming with a head of steam, tries to go to the middle, comes right back up to the slowing number 8 machine, and unfortunately turns Gary Nichols there in the 8. Sean Brightsman gets through it, though, but heavy damage to both the 24, 00, and the 8 as well.
Caution out for the, if you will, second time. 20 laps into this race. 1/4 of the way through, and oh, man. Watch this one more time with Jeff Stabnow up in the fence, right there, into the safer barrier. Rides the safer barrier like it's a Darlington stripe all the way around. Got sideways, fishtailed, right in front of Nichols and White and Kevin Smith. Correction. And Jason, I really think that the caution got flew there because, honestly, Nichols spun in the racing groove, and that's why they threw the yellow. Here they come on pit road. You know, fast repairs are coming.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and obviously the 24 slammed the wall with the 00, but definitely because the 8 was still spinning at the time in front of the field on the racing surface. So that is definitely why the yellow flag came out. But man, not the night that Kevin Smith was hoping for. He was fast early on, and then made some contact with Sean Brightsman. They both went around down the back straight away, and unfortunately the 00 trying to get his way back up through the field to where he was. Ultimately makes contact with Gary Nichols, sends him around, and also the 24 of Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, another yellow flag here. Another look at drivers having problems with their cars. Man. All of this going on here again, as we mentioned. So the yellow flag is coming out. Is that what we're being told? We're also at the top of the hour, or coming up on the top of the hour, so we can go ahead and get that out of the way as well. Don't go anywhere. We're breaking. We're taking Network ID on CRN. We are back with more from Michigan when we return.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Well, I was just going to say, Jason, that your car, Cookies and Crackers, hit the wall, and his life ain't been the same since.
Yep, it's been an unfortunate night for the 46 of Sean Brightsman. My beloved Oreo Ritz paint scheme might not get to the front, but we will have to see. Yeah, something like that.
I am not going to repeat what our producer just said. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how he can be sometimes, unfortunately, Charles, up there in the production booth. You know, always pressing buttons and likes to chirp in our ears here and there. But, hey, we're getting ready for another restart. Dan West Jr. has been pretty much lights out on the last restart now. I expect him to be very strong, possibly, and he's got Devin West, his son, right to the outside, and Toby Ritters, row 2 right there on the bottom side with Robert Gamble to his outside. Look for Robert Gamble or Toby Ritters to kind of do something right here on this restart against the West boys.
All right, we'll try it now as the field gets ready to head back to the what will be Geico restart zone. It's still a long way to go here in this race, by the way. Again, still 22 laps completed, working lap 23. When they come back to the line, green flag goes back in the air. We're back to racing again. All right, let's shake it out. Let's shake, rattle, and roll, as I say, and see how it all pans away. Off on the restart, still finding the cloud cover. Dan West Jr., Ritters in that mix. Gamble is there. Fletcher, Burke, top 5. They're coming at you at 2.
And here comes Robert Gamble through that, obviously, with William Fletcher hanging out behind him. Chris White side by side with Carl Burke down this back straightaway. And here comes Sean Brightsman looking to try to go 3 wide as they enter into turns 3 and 4. He'll hook that yellow line all the way to the inside, tries to clear Carl Burke. He will, or not Carl Burke, excuse me. That's John Ottenbacher this time at the start-finish line. Not enough. They're side by side heading into 1.
All right, watching them here at Michigan Speedway. You know, one of the things we mentioned, by the way, about Michigan also, Jason, is precision banking. It's like Auto Club. It's kind of like Vegas. You know, it's got its own similarities. It's different to its uniqueness, but there's also a lot of things that are the same of all those tracks. And I'll be honest with you, as right now we kind of watch all of this transpire. Keeping an eye on it for sure. We are continuing, obviously, to watch these guys battle. But this is a racetrack, honestly, Jason, where we saw a couple of times earlier, they went 4 wide. You can go in a tandem. You can go 3, 4, 5 wide if you're brave enough. I don't think this is going to be one of these single file races. This track just at one time was one of the fastest tracks in NASCAR, IndyCar back in the day on the open wheel circuit when they raced here. Hands down, I think we need to watch this race for sure. We're not done yet.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely not. I mean, these guys are still running side by side back behind the leaders currently. And the thing about this racetrack, too, Wesley, is that back in the day when these cars had the 1,000 horsepower that you're seeing here tonight, they could run the top. You don't see that at Michigan anymore. They were running the top a couple of weeks ago, yeah, but they were not running nearly as high as these guys are here tonight for sure. Or, even back in 2009, I always think about it every time I see drivers running the outside. Brian Vickers won the 2009 LifeLock 400. Oh, Chris White sideways off turn 4. He saves it after having near contact with one other driver. He saves it. But every time I see the outside, Brian Vickers, man, he used that outside wall to his advantage back in 2009 to win the Cup race here.
Oh, man. Wow. West. Oh. Well, look at that 8th spot, Bridesman. West, Witters, Gamble, Fletcher. Sounds like a law firm. That's your top 5. Hey, another thing that we have, obviously, is in addition to Kaufman Creative Weather Conditions, the Virginia811.com. Call before you dig. Dig with care. Caution, information, and more. And there it is. 2 cautions. 6 laps in total, 1 lead change, and honestly, that was the pass from the lead car to Devin West, and that's the way it's been from there, man. What a job there by the 5 Kellogg's car. You think of Terry Labonte in the throwback, or Dan West Jr. actually in that car, and they're fighting for it again. Here you go now, Gamble and Fletcher going at it for 4th and 5th. And the battle for the father-son lead into turn number 1.
And down the front straightaway, Devin West had it just for a split second over his father, but just not enough. Exiting turn number 4, back down into 1 this time. Devin has been more consistently fast recently. That time by, though, Dan West Jr. was faster than his son last time around. This father-son battle is not over yet. And the more they race side by side, Toby Ritters waits right in the wings behind them in P3.
Yeah. All right, let's see here with Ritters, Winston, Noble. Jimmy Spencer drove that car at one time. Who else? Craven did, I think, at one time he did as well. What? Keep it off the wall. So. He did, yeah. Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement when he was in that car, no doubt. And right now, Toby Ritters. What a good run for him, Jason. He's sitting in 3rd, and ignore the producer. I was just going to say this, that, man, Ritters has really come along, and I really, am am impressed with his drive in this series. He's really done well. I think this program is going to make him break through back into Northwest Victory Lane. He's won races, don't get me wrong. But I think it's making him become a better driver. And William Fletcher, too. Gamble's in the wall.
And Gamble, will he save it? He does off turn number 2. He nearly just came down, Wesley, right in front of Sean Breitzman. Breitzman had to make an evasive maneuver, go a little bit lower than he wanted to. But the 54 are able to save it off turn number 2. That car, though, has a little bit of damage on the right side.
All right. Let's watch them. Burke and Fletcher. Let's see what they do. I love watching I love the TV time, Jason, that these guys are getting. Because usually we're talking about them wrecking or being in the back or trying to stay on the lead lap. And right now, the legend, Carl Burke, fighting the shade, fighting the clouds. And Fletcher Whaley, William Fletcher doing good right there.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to see these guys obviously do good too. And to touch back on your Toby Ritters, what you said before, man, this has been a series that Toby Ritters has absolutely done his best in here. And I know this is only a fun series. I know we've had some low car counts the last couple weeks, but for 17 cars right now, man, P3 right now and running faster, if not as fast lap times as the leaders, this is a great run for the 23 machine, man. If he just can be more consistent lap after lap, I think Toby Ritters really does have what it takes to beat Dan West Jr. and his son Devin West. But the big thing to know about this, we've been talking about for weeks, is this is just more seat time for these guys. They can get behind the wheel, feel more comfortable, know that they have less horsepower, know that they have more horsepower, know the tires wear more, know they don't wear more. You get the gist. But with that being said, Toby Ritters, with how good he's run here in this series, and I'm sure with all the seat time he's had in the offseason, there's probably no guy more than Toby Ritters who has probably had the most seat time during the offseason here in the Northwest Click It RV Fix series. I expect him to do big things when we get back racing in that series.
West, Ritters, Burke, Fletcher, top 5. Closing in on the cross flags. Going to be about 80 miles into this race coming up with another 80 miles remaining. About 86 miles left to go here of the distance of 80 laps, 160 miles. Tonight from the virtual Michigan Raceway, I'm Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside Audenbacher. Gamble. I keep watching this. We've seen it happen to Stab now. We saw it happen to Brightsman. We just saw it happen to Audenbacher and Gamble. And even a lap ago, Robert Gamble too, Jason. You have got to be careful on the exit of turn number 4. Or correction, turn 4, yes. Oh. Look at this again. Turn 4, turn 2. Audenbacher won't give him room. Oh.
There's a little bit of a dent there in that right rear. Pretty much. I mean, I guess that's what you call it. That right rear, though, on that 54 Jimmy Johnson throwback machine has a little bit of a crinkle in that right rear right there just because, oh, no, and Chris White barely makes contact with John Audenbacher down the back straightaway. Man, these guys are struggling right now. And get this, Wesley, from when we went green with best lap time so far, Dan West, as they battle up at the front again, here they are, 38.2 or 38.183 for Dan West Jr., his best lap. Last time around, 40.082. And they last pitted back on lap 13. So we've only gone about a little bit more than 20 laps on a set of green flag tires, already 2 seconds of fall off.
Wow. And I'll say this, Jason, as well. Look at Devin West now fighting his car, dominant off the corner alongside Daddy 55 because of West. It looks like West's car doing really good now. His car is doing well, freeing up, getting faster, getting tighter, looser. I'm in trouble. Son Devin. Daggett to 4th.
And with Troy Daggett moving into 4th, he's loose. Oh, will he save it? He does. Off turn number 2, just because of these tires getting worn out with the horsepower. These guys are struggling on grip right now. And there's definitely going to be one more pit stop before this one's over for sure. Troy Daggett able to save it, though, losing a lot of spots off turn 4.
Wow. Battle for the lead again. Whatever problems number 5 West had, either Daddy has it now or Son West is back at the gate.
Oh, he's loose!
Oh! Wow! Jason, where are we seeing that? What a save by both of these guys.
It's just the tires, man. These tires are shot. These things have nearly 2 seconds of fall off. Look at Dan West Jr. Papa Bear right there. Off the corner, super loose off 4. His son able to take the lead. They're still side by side, though, battling for it here into turn 1. They don't want to do it again. Don't want to have a mishap like they did last time. off turn number 2 this time. The 55 has the momentum, and off the corner, the 5 a little loose, but he'll tuck back in line and follow his father down the backstretch.
I know we don't show replays for some of the crazy racing that we see unless it's on the last lap, but holy cow, that was chaotic what we just saw between the West brothers. Father, son, the West family. West
Brothers.
family. The brothers. The brothers of the West family. Well, we're brothers in Christ, right? All right, so here we go. Daddy West, son West, going at it. Sorry, I got tongue-tied. That was pretty damn. Oh, Allenbacher! Look out. His car matches the turf. He was camouflaged for a second. By the way, we're halfway.
He saves it, though, and he does a great job doing it all the way back to 15th, though, about 4 seconds off the car in front.
Exactly. Can we see a replay of that? Now, that's worth checking a replay of. Here you go. Ask, you shall receive. Watch this. He's in the wall. He was already in the wall. That was talking about. Look at it. He's like the camouflage man there with that grass. Perfect color of the turf here. Correction, that's not turf at Michigan. That's not turf. That's grass. It's green. The grass is not always greener on the other side unless it matches your car.
I tell you what, man, landscapers, they're not going to be too pleased with John Ottenbacher going down there and mowing the grass for them with the front nose.
You remember back in the day where, like, if you ran ARCA or trucks or Xfinity, you got a fine if you tore up the grass during NASCAR weekend. They used to bust your tail with a fine if you went down there and you messed up the logos and the. Listen, we worked hard on this, man, painting all this stuff, and you messed it up. Yeah. By the way, Burke just pitted. Are we going to see green flag pit stops?
More than likely, probably soon, obviously. Looking at it, these guys last pitted on lap 13. So we're just a little over now 30 laps since they went green. It's now halfway. I expect these guys to probably pit here within the next 12 to 15 laps or so. Probably around lap 55 maybe. I'd say you start seeing guys pit for sure, more than likely. Maybe 60 at most.
All right. And here comes the West family part 3.
I think we've lost count how many parts there have been tonight.
I'm loving all these sequels, aren't you?
They get better and better.
All right, West Witters, Brightsman Fletcher, top 5. There goes Dan West Jr., DWJ, son Devin will follow. We're halfway home. West the leader. Ritters, Brightsman Fletcher, green flag, pit stops. Chris White went Indy winner 2 weeks ago. He's on pit road in the CW Media Willie's Addictive Barbecue Chevrolet. Jason, money stop? Would you say this would be the money stop unless we get a caution?
Definitely, I'd say for sure. But the one thing that really I didn't even think about too, which is kind of a no-no on my part. I can't believe I didn't think about it, was that the tires. Oh, we got a problem. Jeff Stabnow. Oh, and the caution comes out. Caution is out on the racetrack. Wow. Jeff Stabnow. So forget everything I was going to say. Nobody will ever know what I was going to say about tires now. But Jeff Stabnow brings out our 3rd caution for the night.
Pepsi Man. I love Pepsi. You know this. I drink it on the air all the time. And watch this. Well, oh no! Carl Burke, lap car, just pitted under green. Did what happened? Was Stabnow just going too fast and Burke was going slow off the pit exit? Can we see this again, Jason? I'm sorry, Charles. Can we see this again on replay? Let's go on board, maybe with Burke. There's Burke on the bottom. What in the world happened? Stabnow's already in front of him. So we know whatever happened to Carl Burke, it wasn't on the pit exit.
No, I think the 24 just got really tight. You see him right there kind of start to go to the bottom, and then ultimately just starts drifting up. He's just getting tight. He just gets tight and comes right up into Burke.
Oh, man. Carl Burke's like, man, I had such a good run going, man. You messed me up.
Oh, man.
So, yellow flag. Out again. This has been interesting. Here we go. Look at Stab now. Jason, I think I asked the question. Now that we have a caution flag, we were seeing green flag pit stops. Or is this the money stop? Is this the finish to the checker, you think?
I don't really know, man. It's so hard to tell. Well, just no. And the reason why I say that is just because these tires, just after 20 laps, they shred and they have 2 seconds of fall off. 2 seconds is a big deal, especially with a set of tires here. I don't know, man. If it's going to come down to anything, these guys are going to have another set of tires in the pits, obviously, and to have to take them. But, I mean, it's still up in the air right now. I think on the ways of fuel, I think they should be good to the end, though, for sure.
All right. So, here comes Nichols back on pit road. He brought out the first caution of the race. Break. Gonna go to break side by side. Charles, gonna do it. George Rayner, what's up, man? George Rayner, thank you, buddy, for chiming in. It's always great hearing from you. So many other great people as well. Quick break time. We'll step away. And are we going to go to break, Charles? That's it. Break. Thank our sponsors. We're back with more. It's getting good in the neighborhood, and I don't mean Applebee's. I mean on the track for iRacing LSRTV for Michigan. Stay with us.
At Click It RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Let's try this again. Mics are open.
What in God's name was that?
Well, I thought he was telling us to reset. We were already live. Welcome back, everybody. And Wesley Outlet, Jason Rockefeller alongside. Good to have Charles back with us again, but he's back to his joking self. So we are CRN.com, LiveSimRacing.com. Let's go to an aerial view for the restart, shall we? Top side aerial coverage, as always, brought to you by your leader in sim racing. Back to it again. LSRTV restart. Here in the Geico restart zone. 30 laps to go here at Virtual Michigan. And even after the pit stops, JR, you have got the West family even back up 1 and 2. And how about Clifford, the big dog in the no bull car? Winston Colors and the Ford Taurus is back in third as they work the backstretch. Oh no!
Oh, he got
really
loose right there. He got really loose there, Wesley, off turn number 2. Opened up the door big time for Troy Dackett to try to make a move down to the inside right here. Riding on board now with the 99 machine back out. Now you see the 23. He just barely clears them off the corner, trying to fight with them. Back behind the 99 of Burke. You're not Burke, excuse me, Troy Daggett. You have Kevin Smith, William Fletcher going side by side down the front straightaway.
Lead equal 5. West family collect the whole set as they go at it again in turn number 3 now.
Back down into turn number 3. Dan West Jr. trying to hang tough up on the top side, but the Kellogg's Cornflakes machine is super, super strong on the bottom, like he's been all night long. Will he be able to clear him? No, not this time by. Father-son duo still duking it out this time by here with Toby Ritters following in tow, possibly going for the lead in just a few laps.
Look at Ritters now, by the way, fastest lap of the race. I've been told Clifford is getting quicker. Ritter's 30.077 last lap of the race, and here comes Clifford. Rough. Eat your heart out, Big Rough.
And down into turn 3, Toby's just super strong on that bottom. If he can just keep being consistent like he was when he posted that lap time of 38.077, I think Toby Ritters can beat these guys. I mean, now that he's right there, presented with the opportunity, if he can just hang on, keep being consistent, dive it to the bottom, let the car kind of rotate through the center a little bit, get back to the throttle, he might have something. Oh, and Dan West Jr. up and into the wall off turn number 2. Toby Ritters will make the pass for second on the podium, and Troy Daggett gets by him, so not 1 but 2 positions lost by DWJ off 2.
Under 30 to go. Fletcher up the hill. He's in the safer barrier. Cleared by Smith. Bloom on the block on the bottom. Holding their line as they climb the banking to get into 1 and 2. Bloom, where did he come from? From the top to the bottom. Goes by Smith. Couple of windbreak. He said, driver. I love it. They're getting it just feels the intensity has ramped and picked up, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Kevin Smith there, you see him getting loose. You see the 28 William Fletcher. He was trying to go from the top all the way down to the bottom through the middle of the corner. He's now right on the left rear quarter panel of Ryan Bloom down this front straightaway. Kevin Smith able to hold off Frank Harris, the legend, behind him. But side by side, Ryan Bloom, William Fletcher lead him into turn number 1 in that little pack as they hit the center, with Fletcher overtaking the 25 off 2.
Again, backstretch. Look at Bloom. Bloom on the bottom after Fletcher. This is for 5th, by the way. Double nickel on the racetrack when they come to the line. Battle between the Cinco and double nickel cars. 5 and 55 going at it in the lead. Not anymore. Ritters just cleared by Dan West Jr. Dan West Jr. just slipped. Something happened to the 55, Jason.
Yeah, he got really loose just a couple of laps ago off turn number 2 and basically brushed the wall, I believe, opened up the door for Ritters and Daggett. They went by, and now DWJ kind of falling into the clutches of Ryan Bloom here possibly as they work their way into 3, and this time by, they're going to hit lap 57 at the line, but back up at the front, Toby Ritters trying his hardest to run down Devin West right now, back by about 3 to 4/10 of a second now as they work their way down to 1.
Yeah, man, what a job there. As West, Ritters, Daggett, 1, 2, and 3. Ritters is up to second. And mind you, can we go to the leaders? Look at this as we're watching Burke and Smith go at this in the top 10, middle of the pack. But Jason, 23 to go. Here comes Ritters. He's the fastest car on the racetrack. He's coming and in a hurry.
Yeah, he's been really fast. He just needs to keep being consistent like I've been talking about. I mean, he'll get down to the bottom, but then he'll kind of just drift up really, really high. If he can just get down to the bottom, I think a little bit more and arc his corner better, I think he might have a shot here at Devin West. But you also got to think to yourself, too, a little bit of time left. Got to conserve those tires. We're already a second of fall off on these things practically. So tire fall off's definitely going to be a thing here on these remaining 30 laps or 20 laps coming up here in just a couple laps. Toby Ritters, though, could be sitting in the catbird seat, but right now, dropping back by just a couple more tenths.
RGL Motorsports chiming in. He says, Gen 4 cars, I couldn't handle it. Maybe I was doing baseline. Okay. So thank you, Russ Lundberg. Thank you, George. Everyone else tuning into the chime box. Russ Ritters family, I know they got to be happy right now. And right now, there's Chris White struggling here, and he's 5 seconds back in the top 12. Look at this now. Kevin Smith, every which way but loose. The monkey in the movie with Clint Eastwood, that's the way his car seems here at Michigan, trying to get around Fletcher into 3.
Yeah, and he goes up the racetrack just a little bit. You see Frank Harris opened up the door for himself, trying to work to the bottom of Kevin Smith. And back behind them, there's the cookie cracker car, my favorite. Here comes Sean Brightsman working his way back inside the top 10, trying to go after 8th place driver, the legend Frank Harris, as they work their way into one this time. Smith was able to get back around the number 11 machine. Sean Brightsman still struggling, though, to find some speed out of that 46 car late in the going.
And by the way, Brightsman's car had problems earlier, the cookie cracker car, as we mentioned, Jason. And he is now starting to try to climb from his descent back into the top 10. He's in 9th. Stabnow's right behind him, Team LSRTV. And Jason, with 20 to go, we're starting to see some peaks of sunshine coming out on these cars around the track.
Yeah, it's partly cloudy skies right now. You're starting to see some parts of the racetrack are kind of just baked in sun right now. Some have that cloud cover like off turn 2, and then basically off turn number 4, you'll see the sun kind of start to peek out a little bit. The sun keeps popping out every once in a while, but hey, track temperature still has not really changed. Still around 72 degrees, 73, 74, somewhere around there. So this track still ultimately, though, really is kind of cool, but off turn 4, though, really slick on that end.
Yeah, gotta wonder, Jason, with this undertow, and so and some of these cars. Okay, some of these cars, Jason, fighting cloud cover, and they were handling issues in the cloud cover part of the race. Will this be better for them with now the sun-covered bathed racetrack at the finish, and the cars that were struggling with the, and flip-flop that?
I would say probably not. If anything, I think they're going to be worse the more the sun comes out, because they're already loose, even in cloudy conditions. And with the sun obviously getting down on the racetrack, creating the track to get more heat in it, make it more slick, it's not going to help these guys who are already struggling with grip, obviously. So we'll have to see and keep an eye on that as you look at Kevin Smith try to get around William Fletcher with Frank Harris back behind him. I just think that these guys are going to definitely struggle on grip if the sun continues to come out.
Whoa, smoke trouble!
Oh,
dang it! Around in turn 4, bottom of the apron. Nope, caution's out. Caution out with 17 to go. Fastenal car. You know, when I was a kid, Jason, I thought Fastenal was medicine like Tylenol. As a kid. Fastenal, Tylenol. Shut up, Charles. We're under caution. Here you go. Here's a look at it again while we're under yellow flag 5.
Well, hey, I think Troy Daggett might need some Tylenol after that spin, because, man, that thing just snaps loose on him. Ultimately, coming up the racetrack, trying to exit turn number 4, the car at the back end just kind of slides out from under him, and unfortunately, that's how that 99 went around. Looking at, the lap times for most of these guys, they are over now, 2 seconds. A fall off. So definitely tires, definitely probably one of the main causes. But hey, with that, these guys are going to come down pit road, take a fresh set of tires, and everybody is going to have some tires under them. So it's going to get real dicey here in the pits and on the restart following.
I really couldn't. I didn't think pit stops was going to be coming, but now with the caution, absolutely. You're stupid if you don't pit. I don't want to say that in a very nice way. I don't want to say calling our friends of the Northwest that. You're crazy if you don't pit. You got to pit.
Tyler King and John Ottenbacher just stayed out on lap 47 and 48 lap tires. Boys, I don't know if that's the right call, if I agree with that per se. But wow. I mean, hey, they tried to shoot for some track position. I think what they're going to hope for is that there are a lot of cautions here following these next few laps.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was about to say. You ever heard of the equivalent, Jason, of bringing a knife to a gunfight? We're about to see that here with these two cars in the front row. Tyler King, Truck Series champion of last year. Ottenbacher, listen, not saying anything bad about John Ottenbacher. He's our buddy out of Village, Montana. He's won races. He's won some upset races I didn't think he would win. This is definitely probably one of the biggest gambles I think I've ever seen him do, Jason Rockefeller, in my career of 4 years as the voice of the Northwest Racing Series. This is a gamble right here.
Yeah, well, you also talk about bringing a knife to a gunfight, man. They're not just bringing a fine point blade. They're bringing a butter knife. They are bringing a butter knife to a gunfight, man. And these guys got big guns. They got 4 fresh Goodyears on right now. This is going to be difficult to see these cars, how they handle here on the restart, obviously. Now you're going to have 2 guys who have a few lap older tires by about a little over, I think, 12 laps maybe. Who knows? They could spin the tires. They could check up the field on the exit. They can get tight. They can get loose. This restart can go every which way possible probably here.
All right, so we're gonna try this again. Tyler King, John Onnebacher, Devin West, Toby Ritters, Kevin Smith, top 5. Then we go to Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr. There's your guy Sean Brightsman back in the saddle again. Frank Harris, another legend of the series. Carl Burke had a good run earlier. Now he's behind the wall. It looks like, well, he's not behind the wall. He's multiple laps down, correction. But Frank Harris, Jason, now in a top 10 drive with Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, some good recoveries, obviously, for some guys. You know, Jeff up 3 spots from where he started. Frank still -2 from where he started. So maybe they can make something here. I'm really looking to see how Dan West Jr. in 7th handles this restart. This is the first time he's going to be restarting behind guys. So we haven't seen how this number 55 is going to handle in dirty air on the restart here. And remember, the 2 guys up front did not hit. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
Ready to go now. Filled to the Geico restart zone. Remember, almost 20-plus laps of used tires. This is the equivalent of a new car against the used car. With these tires, pardon the pun, back to green. King on the bottom. Onnebacher, bypass like a lost cause. And like taking away your high school sweetheart on prom night. And taking the candy too on Halloween. Look at how fast Devin West goes to the lead and powers away from him.
Yeah, and now Dan West Jr. and Kevin Smith have to make quick work of Tyler King if they want any remote chance to go run down Devin West right now. And look at Dan West Jr., man. He went from 7th all the way to 2nd. Just 1 lap. Some 3 wide racing, though, behind him. You see Blue, King, and Ritters, I believe that is as well. They're duking it out down into turn number 1. They're all side by side in the center.
All right, I'm asking the chat box who's going to win this race, who will win, who's going to be the winner. And right now, it's another sequel. It's another sitcom. Three's Company if you put Bloom in the mix. But right now, the West family 1 and 2. Ritters is up in the fence. Holds on, 23. Trying to keep it off the safer barrier. Harris to the inside. Here comes also Brightsman and a big gaggle of traffic behind him with 12 to go.
And the big gaggle of traffic results right now with William Fletcher clearing that. Jeff Stabnow and Tyler King side by side, almost 3 wide there. Troy Daggett slides up a little bit. They make contact off turn number 2, nearly looked like. Everybody, though, starting to calm down just a little bit. You see Frank Harris trying to make quick work of Toby Ritters. That's the battle for the top 5 position. And as they work their way off turn number 4, 11 laps to go this time by.
11 coming to 10 remaining and 70 complete next time around when they come to the stripe. There goes Harris. Whoa, trouble. We got a car in the wall. Was that Smith? I saw some smoke. Smith looked like he might have had some net code there for just a moment as I saw smoke and he disappeared. He's back. He's in 4th. He's starting to come to the front. Hopefully the technical gremlins aren't visiting the Monday night truck winner, Jason, with 10 to go at the line. Or was it Frank Harris?
And Kevin Smith was kind of having a little bit of a connection issue earlier on. I noticed on one of the pace laps, obviously. But, man, that 0-0, he's hooked up and ready to tango right from having what looked to be possibly a bad night going for him. It's ending up pretty solid right now. If he can hold out for 10 more laps, it might be a top 3 run for the driver out of Walla Walla, Washington, Kevin Smith. Oh, right back straight away. No caution. We stay green. Never mind. Yellow is
caution.
Out. Oh!
Front nose in the safer barrier near the blend line on the back stretch. And we go under yellow flag with 10 laps to go. Ryan Bloom missed Monday night, second in the points. Doing well in both series. And the Monster Energy might have unleashed the beast a little too early as he got sideways in that Camaro coming out of 2. Watch the replay. Well, Jason, we mentioned Smith having problems. Could that have anything to do with the 25? The answer is no.
Not. Definitely not. The 25 just simply got loose heading off turn number 2, and unfortunately, and what a nose right into the inside retaining wall there at the end of that wall. And, man, the 25 is still struggling to get the pit road, man. That thing is banged up pretty good.
Is that struggling or PO'd to get the pit road, Jason?
I'd say a little bit of both, probably more than likely.
Wow. Coming to the pits. I love it. I like these Gen 4 Cup cars. I'm telling you, man. I love it. And if we got any new audience people, honestly, Jason, and I know it's like pardon the pun, make you tell the story over and over and over again, beating a dead horse, but let them know how it all started. It started by a mistake by the world leader of racing simulation of computers, iRacing. That's what they did. They made a mistake, and people loved it.
Yeah, just a handful of months ago, one of the regular season updates came out, and people hopped in an ARCA session and were realizing, hey, why the heck are we going nearly 200 miles an hour in an old Gen 4 ARCA car? Turns out iRacing evaluated it. Turns out they dropped a 1,000 horsepower old Cup engine into these bad boys, but everybody said, hey, we love it. Please keep it, keep it, keep it. Sure enough, iRacing said, if you ask, you shall receive. And what was one of their worst mistakes ended up being their greatest mistake that turned out to a blessing in disguise and so forth. Now we have on iRacing to race officially in official races the Gen 4 series. So these cars obviously are available on iRacing to race at any time at your disposal. And, yeah, you just see the racing action here all night. It's been pretty hectic, and they've been really, really fun to drive. Also a handful.
I love it. I'm loving it. I love it. I know you love it, too. Jason's having a ball. Oh, yeah. Charles, can you chime in? Buddy, can you hear us? Can you talk to the masses? We've missed you. We love Rooster. One Cody to another Cody, but it's great to have Cody one back in the booth with us, Charles Wooten.
All right, Harry.
He said, ice cream.
Can't come to pit
Jason,
road right
hey,
now,
by the way.
Cole.
Yeah, look at you can come on pit road if you want to, but I don't recommend you eating an ice cream cone out there. Having enough trouble around the track as it is. You can take your ice cream.
I'd be too pleased with you.
Hey, by the way, Jason, I know you're a young guy, and I know you're a fan, though, of the history of the sport of NASCAR. I'm trying to give a shameless plug here. Finish line today, for the first time ever in the 6 years of doing the show. We've done it always 4 or 5 guests, winners across the country, people like that. Well, obviously, I've been out of studio for the last month being live because of obviously other obligations, basketball, racing, SRX, whatever, traveling. So we did a live show today. By the way, lights off on the pace truck. We'll go back to green this time by with 6 to go. We still have an opportunity for overtime, too. Jason, if you go on my wall on Facebook, click on the link with Bill Blair. He is the son of NASCAR former driver of the Pioneer days, Bill Blair Sr. All I'm going to tell you is it's an awesome trip down memory lane with the history of the sport. NASCAR, what his thoughts of where it is now, what he thinks of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. I know you're a fan of these throwback cars and just where the history of the NASCAR world came from. I'm encouraging you or anybody, Hashtag finish line, all social platforms. Click on it with Bill Blair Jr. You'll be glad you did, buddy.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely going to give a listen for sure. I mean, Bill Blair, obviously one of the pioneers in NASCAR. 3 races, obviously, from the late 40s to the early 50s and whatnot. A lot of history.
Wow,
a lot
you
of
do
pioneers in NASCAR as well. Yeah.
That's right. Ready to grow to green. 7-6 to go. Here we go. Nice restart, Devin West. Powers away from Daddy. And 00 Kevin Smith trying to sweep the weekend if he can. He won the trucks on Monday at Quebec Virtual Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Jason, do you think we just turned up the wick? They're off too.
Yeah. We probably did for sure. I mean, with 6 laps to go, the door is off the hinges now. It's wide open pretty much. This is anybody's race, but it's been Devin West so far all night. But hey, man, we saw father and son battling it out earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Tell you what, DWJ, Big Papa Bear, he's coming right now for the son. And right now,
Oh,
no,
my
21
God.
Tyler King for the Grace saves it,
And
though.
he saved it! And he saved it! Tyler King in the grass, and he saved the Motorcraft car of Elliott Sadler's Wood Brothers machine, Motorcraft 21. I can't believe it. Save of the night. Save of the series, maybe, right there. Holy cow. I would love to go to a replay, but there's this stuff going on everywhere.
Yeah, and now with 5 laps to go, coming to 4, DWJ has ultimately caught his son right now. I mean, he is right there on the back bumper down the front straightaway. 4 laps to go. And in fact, DWJ, fastest lap time of the race, 38.029. Father is coming for his son, trying to teach him a lesson as they work their way off 2.
Back straightaway. It is Young Lion versus Old Lion, the veteran, the father, the son. Going at it from Shelton, Washington. Then you got Walla Walla, Washington's Kevin Smith right there, back up to 3rd. Toby Ritters, Clifford, teeth growling, snarling, ready to try to go to victory lane or at least get a good podium. He's on the outside of the ball, so win racing. And Frank Harris, the legend Jason, he's in the top 5 with 3 to go off of 2.
Man, baby, he's looking for a dang top 3 right here, and he has it presented right to him with Kevin Smith and Toby Ritters going side by side. This could end up great, but hey, up at the front, Dan West Jr. going for the lead on his son right now. On the outside,
Yep.
He might be able to get the momentum off turn number 4 down the straightaway. 2 laps to go, son trying to break the draft. Father to the apron, and he's there. He's got the run. He's to the outside in a 1.
Up the racetrack, father throws the block on daddy. No way,
crossed him
Daddy-O.
over.
Crossover to the bottom. He's going to go to the slide job, and he got sideways. He's going to power alongside. He gets sideways. Leader West gets loose. Father Dan West got loose. He lost ground. 3 car links, 4 car links, fading. They're coming to turn 3 of the white flag next time around, Jason.
And Dan West Jr. right now, he did it once. He might be able to do it again this time by. White flags in the air, 1 lap to go. Dan West Jr. is going to try to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at his son here. Possibly going to be a dilemma in the West household after this. For the final time into 1 and 2, Devin West will run the top. Dan West Jr. ripping the bottom side as they work their way off 2. For the final time, Devin West gets loose.
Oh. And they're crashing behind them. I think we got to crash behind them. Meanwhile, they're wrecking. Devin West got loose. He opened the door to Dan West again. Here comes Daddy. He's going to punch it on the outside. He'll take it to the top shelf. He can't do it. Devin West gets up in front. Back to the bottom. Dan West can't get there. Devin West wins here at Michigan.
What a
3
finish
winners
right there
in
for
4
father,
races.
son.
Yes, sir. Loved it.
my
Classic
goodness.
one by the West family. By the way, there was a crash on the last lap. It happened on the back straightaway, Charles. If you want to go back to the replay, we can find out what happened. But they had already took the white flag. So therefore, the race was considered official. After that incident that took place, there was an accident. Whew, man, oh, man.
Uh-oh.
And let's get ready for your high five salute.
Oh, boy. We saw some crazy stuff last week at the Chicago Street Course. Makes me wonder what we're going to see here at 200
Gotta
miles
love
an
it,
hour,
right?
possibly.
Gotta love it. And
Something
a
tells
lot
me
of people
somebody's
watching
gonna
in
run right in the back
4K.
of him.
For a
Somebody's
lot
gonna
of
run
people
right in the back
watching
of
in
that 5.
4K. Oh, it's going to happen. Northwest high five salute is on deck, no doubt.
Oh, there they go.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, there goes Tyler King. I think that's strike one. Oh. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Nobody's put in a bonsai shot yet. Oh, there we go. Too soon. It was Daddy. And then it's Kevin on his lid from Wind Racing. Chris White with a shot in the grass. Boy. Yeah, that was. Meanwhile, we got a guy like Robert Gamble just getting some. Oh, my goodness. You know what? So much for R&D. I thought he was getting some R&D testing, Charles. Jason, that's not the case. Sean Bright's been looking for some big air.
So. Oh, boy, here we go, man. He's going X Games mode right here off turn number 4.
Let's go on. Yeah,
we're going to see how high up in the air the Oriole Ritz car goes. Here he goes to the grass. Here he comes. Oh, he misses everybody.
What the hell? What the hell?
Oh, there he goes. He got one at least.
Hey, that's like a tractor pull. Can you say full pull? And then he crashes it. Look at Frank Harris. Yeah, Frank had a good run tonight, man. He looks like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang right now, putting down the track with the smoke in the back. But, man, what a good run for him tonight. Well, he did finish 13th, but what might have been. Good run here. Hey, hope you enjoyed it. Northwest high five salute. Our salute to you, the fans of iRacing, for checking us out with the best Northwest drivers on the Northwest Racing Series presented by Click It RV. Here's your results. And Jason, I digress with Devin West, Dan West Jr. We've called a lot of West family races in the past, and that was probably one of the best finishes we saw between them, no doubt. Kevin Smith could climb back to 3rd. Toby Ritter's just missing the podium. 4th, John Onenbacher, top 5. Brightsman in the cookie cracker car. Would have come back for him in your throwback ride. Gamble, 7th. Chris White, 8th. Tyler King, 9th. And Jason, Jeff Stab now, again, it's not a win. It's not a podium, but it's a top 10. Another consistent finish for the Billings, Montana car.
Yeah, and he was definitely strong tonight, had some issues. And then you go back to 11th, you have Gary Nichols, 12th, Troy Daggett, 13th, Frank Harris, 14th is William Fletcher, 15th, Ryan Bloom, the first car 1 lap down, 15th, William Fletcher, or excuse me, I'm reading off the wrong one. You have Ryan Bloom, William Fletcher, then Carl Burke, and Roy Grande Jr. rounds out the field in 17th.
So that's the way it finishes up. Coming up, let's take a look at your overall recap of the race with caution and the lead changes. It got good, Jason. 5 cautions, caution laps at 15, 9 lead changes. I enjoyed this race. This was an entertaining race like Michigan always provides, for sure, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely a fun race for sure. And I mean, hopefully, after what we saw tonight, who knows what's to come here in the next, few months here of the Northwest Division. We'll have to see. Maybe these cars will make a return after the finale next week.
Hey, coming up, post-race wrap-up, we get it to you. We've already got them in the box, ready to go. Top 3. We'll be back with more from Michigan. Round 4 tonight, final race at Homestead. Preview this one. I think James Vinan and the folks of the Northwest have hit this series out of the park again. It was entertaining. Probably, I'll be honest, Jason, on record, as we get ready for driver interviews, the best race we've seen of the Fun Gen series for sure. Gen 4 cars.
Absolutely, no doubt for sure.
We are going now to take a quick break. When we come back, we grab the West family. We grab Kevin Smith, top 3 from Michigan. Coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and the Community Radio Network wraps up from Michigan when we return. Welcome back to the Irish Hills of virtual Michigan. Cloudy most of the day, sun poked out there the final 20 laps, and it offered an entertaining finish, not only by the West family, but all the great contenders in the top 5. And we grabbed now the podium. Coverage continues of round number 4 of the Northwest Gen4 Cup Fun Series. iRacing, LSRTV, Wesley Outland, Jason Rockland, Charles Wooten. Great to have him back production. And we'll grab Kevin Smith. Kevin, good podium week for you. You won, obviously, at Mossboard at Canadian Tire with the trucks on Monday, your first win of the series. And a podium here tonight. Would I be hard-pressed to say, why do you think we saw so many cars, and even yourself, enter this one as the car count was kind of down the first 2 or 3 races? I think a lot of people like Michigan. Your take of it, sir. 3rd place.
Yeah, I think it's a good track. I think people like running Michigan. And, we just heard a lot of really good things about this car, and I hadn't had a chance to get in it and drive it. And I just jumped in a session last night with a couple of guys and had a ton of fun. And really, that's it. I just felt like it'd be a fun race to run, and just getting out here with these guys this week was a blast.
Yeah, Kevin, congratulations, obviously, on your 3rd place run here tonight, man. Obviously, in a few weeks, we go back to the Northwest Click It RV Fix Series, and we've been seeing you run really, really strong recently, obviously, there. How are your chances, and how are you feeling headed into the next half of the season?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I think, you take some of the bad luck, some of the technical stuff away from the first part of the season. I think we're probably talking, a little bit differently about how my season's going. So, I know I've got good races in me if I just kind of stay focused and, not kind of, push the issue. It stinks to get into Sean there at the beginning, just kind of got free up off the corner like a lot of us did. But, just stay within myself and run the races I know I can run, and the good finishes, will follow.
Kevin, for sure, man. Did you feel when that late race caution came out? Because it's past tense. Did you feel like you could do something with the West family, or were they just in a different league with everybody tonight?
No, I definitely felt like I could get up there and mix it up with them. Toby ran really good tonight. He and I had a great battle for 3rd place, and it just kind of let those two get out a little bit. But no, I felt like I could get up there and mix it up. I mean, it's a car that, in a track that you can run a bunch of different lines and not run, where the folks in front of you are running. So no, I definitely felt like I could get up there and at least, play with them a little bit and see what we had. But, Toby did what he needed to do to try to get that, advance himself. He's running for points in this deal. So, we had a good little battle there. That was a lot of fun.
Well, Kevin, you want to win one of these races, obviously, on the Homestead next week. I'm kind of calling you out live on the air. We're going to see you at Homestead. Yeah, next Thursday or Wednesday night.
Yeah, we'll see. I had a lot of fun tonight, so that's super helpful. I think our teammate Dennis has already called the shot. I think he says he's going to come run this race, and he's going to take the win home. So maybe we can go up there and kind of block that. So Dennis has already kind of put that out there. So anyone who's listening, just Homestead. He says it's his track, and he's going to go out there and show everybody what's up. So I might.
Now that's not just Northwest fighting words. That's Wind Racing fighting words from the boss, isn't it? For you.
Well, hey, if you're gonna call a shot, I'm all for it. So no, I'm fooling around a little bit, just teasing a little bit. But Dennis does like Homestead. He's always run really, really well there, and I think there's a number of guys, half this field or better that could go there and compete for a win. So we'll see if my schedules freeze up and I can be a part of it. I'd love to. I mean, it's a good group of guys to race with. It's a really fun car. I'm calling another shot. I think this should be the Wednesday night car next year. We had that much fun with it. So, anyways, congratulations to Devin. Congratulations to Dan. They ran a good race. Had a lot of fun tonight.
Kevin Smith right there. Sponsors, buddy, before I let you go, man. Thank them.
Yeah, I mean, just want to thank Click It RV. Click It RV is we're a premier RV dealer here in the Pacific Northwest. So anybody's in the market for a travel trailer, pop-up camper, truck camper, motorhome, that sort of thing, we do sell those, and we do parts and service. So anybody has any of those needs, please look us up. Want to thank you guys at LSRTV. You guys always do a great job. Running these broadcasts. They're a lot of fun to be a part of. Want to thank Sean. Want to thank Jeff. They just put on such a great series. James Vining for putting this series together. Guys are just talking about it a bunch and having a lot of fun. And my team, just want to thank my team. We always, have great times together and have great races. And it was fun there racing Toby. It's a little disappointing. I hope I didn't have a part in Ryan's little spin there at the end. But anyways, just racing hard, and that's it. Congratulations, West family. You guys did a great job tonight.
Walla Walla, Washington. Kevin Smith will finish on the podium in third. Father, son, 1 and 2. We grab up now. Dan West Jr. So many sequels, so many sitcom battles between you and Son West. We loved it. It was entertaining in the booth, and I think it was probably some of the best racing we've seen Father, Son West do on the track in the Northwest, and probably since my inception, as I said, being the voice of the Northwest Racing Series. What's your take of racing your son and racing yourself and racing the clouds and the sun and the handling of these cars, these new cars, and coming up second spot?
That's pretty loaded there, Wesley. Yeah, the cars are awesome. Like Kevin's saying, they are absolutely awesome. Just handling the horsepower, just kind of harnessing that is awesome. Racing there with Devin is a treat to me. I really enjoy that. I mean, it's a pretty special moment for me as a father. So for us to be able to race like that and have the opportunity, it's there's some great racers out here. So, the luck's got to go your way to stay out of trouble and be able to be up there and be able to do that. So that was a blast.
And Dan, obviously, congratulations on running second, even though I know you probably wanted to beat your son right there because, who doesn't want to win for the old guys, obviously. But, hey, you gave it your all heading there into turn 3. What more could you have done? Because on the one restart, you went from 7th all the way to 2nd. What more could you have done? Was it like overdriving the car? Were you underdriving it? What more could you have done right there in the last few laps?
I think it was when I was coming into turn 3, coming around for the white flag. I got up underneath Devin there, and for some reason out of my peripheral, I thought he was getting loose and coming down, but he was in kind of a yaw moment, and I lifted, and that right there was just enough of a gap. I felt like I had a pretty good car. I felt like I had a pretty good line. I thought it was going to come right down to the end there. So I don't know, other than, like I say, I was just trying to give him enough room there. I thought he was getting loose and didn't want to collect both of us and to, throw away a good race.
Entertaining. And would you race these cars on a full-time schedule if it was presented to the Northwest?
Yeah, hands down. I mean, they're just a blast. I mean, obviously tonight we were at an awesome track. I think Chicago, anybody that runs iRacing knows this track has many different lanes, like Kevin said. Last night, Kevin and I and Toby ran a bunch of laps together, and I had a blast. I mean, we were laughing, and we knew that basically, that we wanted to come back here tonight and have some more fun.
Well, it's on to Homestead. Do you think Homestead will offer the same type of package, obviously, that we saw here at Michigan? It's another one of those precision banking tracks. It's a 1.5 miles instead of 2 miles. Katie, bar the door for a closing finale next week, you think?
Yeah, I think that you got that type of surface. It's going to wear the tires even more, I think. So it'll definitely be tire management more there. So I thought there would be a huge tire management here, but it really wasn't that bad, to be honest with you. But I think at Homestead, it's going to bring great racing because you got the top, you got the bottom, you got the middle. But yeah, I think it'll be awesome racing. I'm hoping I can make it. I do have plans that night, but I'm hoping I can get back and hopefully come and do this again.
Sponsors, Dan.
I got to give a shout out to Kevin Smith for the Click It RV. I mean, it sounds like they got a really good deal going over there. So, I don't care what time of year it is. It sounds like you need to go see them if you are in the market for an RV. LSRTV, thank you guys. Everything you guys do in the booth is awesome. And my teammates, like Kevin says, he's got great teammates. So do I. Appreciate all they do. They're fun to be with, hang out with. Great race, Kevin. I was pretty nervous there when I seen you lining up for third, to be honest with you. So thought that was going to be a hell of a battle. And appreciate all you guys do. Thank you.
Fun times. Shelton, Washington. Father, Dan West Jr., DWJ 55, settles for the runner-up spot to son, Devin West, victory lane. Devin, you make now 3 out of 4 winners on the series. Sean Brightsman with 2. I think Dennis Moore got a win, or was it Robert Campbell? And then, of course, now you add you to the podium. Congratulations, Devin. How wild was that race? Especially, I make a notice when the cloud cover left and the sun came back out. It seemed like it really, and I know this is a virtual iRace, but you could tell that it was affecting these cars. What was it like affecting you guys in the cockpit to the finish of the race?
Honestly, I didn't put any practice in this race, so I don't know what I don't know what kind of weather affected where. I will say that middle run was pretty wild. I mean, these cars, I know before the race started, I thought I was just getting loose, and it took me about 10 laps to figure it out. I'm not loose. I'm just spinning the tires. So that's why that's much fun to drive. But yeah, the middle run was hairy, right? I'm sure you saw in the broadcast. Plenty of times got underneath that or trying to pass on the car, and you just couldn't hang on to it, right? You slide to the door, halfway sideways. So I'm sure it had a pretty big effect.
And Devin, congratulations on your win, as always, every time you do. But the one thing that I really was talking about, and you talk about the handling the cars and whatnot too, was the tire wear. We saw the tires wear off very significantly after about 20 laps. These things have had about 2 or more seconds of fall off time. How did that just feel, obviously, in the cockpit? Was it tight? Was it loose? Because I know with some cases, with some cars, like with trucks, for example, the truck tends to get a lot tighter when the tires are worn out. Same with the next gen car. How was it though for these Gen 4 cars?
It was a little bit unpredictable at times, right? I mean, with all this power, it'd be loose almost every single time, and then there'd be that kind of that odd time where I don't know if you just had the car right, or his aero, or what the problem was, but it would get in there and it just would not turn. So you got a wheel in the car, and then gassing it back up, and then you're loose again, right? So, tire wear is different in these things, right? Usually you start out hooked up and kind of lose that grip over time. These things are just so hairy from the beginning that you slow down, but you're hanging on the entire time. So
racing with your dad, virtual or reality, a couple of modified guys as y'all are, street stocks, whatnot. What does it mean to just be able to battle with your dad for the finish, for a win?
That's a blast. I was strong the entire time. I didn't think tonight was going to be the night. That first run I was pretty average, just kind of run by myself, and he was up there pretty quick. But yeah, it's a blast. I mean, it's been, I feel like, a while since we've had that kind of race together. We haven't made any mistakes and kind of both were able to, be 1 and 2. So, it's a blast. I know I can trust him. I know that if I get in him a little bit, we just laugh it off. But, it's a blast.
Jokingly, got to be a little smile and redemption after being so close to have a pretty good run. You and your dad both at Mossport on Monday night with the trucks, and obviously Kevin Smith won, and you're able to get a victory here tonight for sure.
Yeah, tell me about it. That was definitely the first time I ever lost a race by spinning with 2 to go. And this was good. Obviously, come back out here and win for our next race, kind of get that monkey on my back immediately, right? Otherwise, I think that was kind of a downer. I had to take a little walk around the house, get some water after that one. But Kevin did a good job. I mean, he deserved it. I mean, it wasn't like I felt like I was the one that should have won that race. I think he did everything he needed to do. Definitely was the fastest car. So.
Jason, got anything left for Devin? One more, buddy. One more.
Nah, man, just, thank you guys for putting on such a hell of a show for us up here in the booth and everybody watching, man. It's been a blast to watch you guys drive these cars. I know you just said, you had no practice time, obviously, and hey, man, I used to be able to do that, but not anymore since I'm not on the sim a lot. But congratulations on the win, obviously, and hopefully we'll see, these Gen 4 cars return after next week's race.
Yeah, for sure. I know Kevin Dad obviously lobbying for Wednesday nights, and I like that Xfinity car, but I won't be opposed to it. So we'll see.
Sponsors, buddy. We'll let you go, Devin. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, LSRTV up in the booth. I look forward to go back and watching the replays every single night. Then, like I'm gonna say, Click at RV and Kevin. Those guys, Kevin helps out a ton with the series and with Jeff and Sean putting this thing together. So. Yeah, if you need an RV, go to them. And then my sponsors, Photo Web Solutions, Motorsports Distributing, and Keeney's Custom Hardwood.
There you go. And those are your drivers. Father, son, of course, a battle to the finish. Son got the win. Devin West, Dan West Jr., 1 and 2. Kevin Smith, third. The podium here tonight in round 4 of the Northwest Truck Series will be in action next Monday night. This will be next week's final Fun Series event. Jason, we got 20 seconds, brother. Always fun working with you. Your final take of tonight.
Just one heck of a battle, man, between the Wests, obviously, and just everybody in general. I had a blast calling this race. Definitely the best one we've seen so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of them.
Devin West, winner tonight. Don't forget, eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying tomorrow night. And, of course, for all of our crew, this is Wesley Outland. Good night from Michigan.